Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep into, well, one of the most fundamental parts of human experience. The spaces we call home.
Right, and we've got this source material that, on the surface, it looks like a basic vocabulary lesson.
Totally. Rooms, furniture, some adjectives. But when you really dig in, what we found were these two almost competing philosophies of modern living.
It's incredible how much a simple description can reveal, isn't it? So the mission for this deep dive is to look beyond just the object, the sofa, the sink, and really find those aha moments hiding in the detail.
We're trying to extract the lifestyle that's implied. The subtle trade-offs, the little luxuries, the compromises that you see in the apartment dweller versus the house dweller.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, the material gives us these two really clean snapshots. One life is rooted in, say, urban convenience, and the other, it's all about that quiet retreat.
They're just homes. They're like maps of daily routines. They show you how the very structure of your home dictates everything, from how you relax to, the nature of your chores.
Precisely. So let's establish these two scenarios right away for everyone listening. First up, we have the apartment profile. And this is completely urban. It's located right in the center of the city. It's described as medium-sized on the 4th floor, which means, verticality is a big deal. You're depending on an elevator just to get home.
And that convenience, that whole idea of living right in the middle of everything, it comes with a cost. It's stated right in the source. The apartment is a little noisy.
Yeah, that's the trick.
You're near a busy street. You're constantly hearing cars and buses. It's like this background hum that you just have to accept for that prime location.
Now, compare that to the house profile. We are, immediately in a totally different soundscape. The house itself is described as small, but the key feature, the street is very quiet.
So the trade-off is set up instantly.
Yeah.
You get silence, you get more space, but you also get more work. The source material is very clear that cleaning a house is hard work.
Right, because it's bigger than the apartment. It's simple math. More rooms to clean. That's the price you pay for horizontal space.
But the prize for all that work is the garden. It has flowers, a small tree.
So there it is, the fundamental choice. City convenience and noise versus quiet, private green space and the responsibility that comes with it.
Okay, wait. I want to challenge that idea of increased responsibility for just a second, because the source gives us this great detail later on. The house dweller might have the garden, but doesn't the apartment dweller have a bigger time burden with their chores?
Oh, that's a brilliant point. Go on.
The cost isn't just about physical space. It's about the time you spend on these necessary little tasks.
That sets up our next section perfectly. If the foundations dictate location and noise, then the living room, that dictates your philosophy of downtime.
This is where it gets really interesting.
It does. Let's start with that living room. The apartment dweller, Paul, his relaxation is all centered around media.
Right. He has a big, gray, comfortable sofa, a TV on the wall, and this small coffee table that's used specifically for his tea. The whole setup just screams, I sit here and I watch.
Whereas the house dweller, Emily, her philosophy is totally different. It's focused on, let's say, active comfort. She has a blue sofa and a big, soft armchair.
And the armchair is placed specifically next to the window.
Yes. Why the window? Because the sun comes in, and that makes it, in her words, perfect for reading. The whole space is described as cozy.
See, the insight isn't really the furniture. It's what the furniture is for. The house is set up for solitude and reading. The apartment is set up for, well, passive viewing. Maybe all that noise outside pushes you inward toward the screen.
That's highly probable. The constant city pulse doesn't really lend itself to quiet reading, does it? We even get this really funny little detail about plants that just confirms this whole divide.
I love this part. The apartment dweller has 2 small green plants, but he sometimes forgets to water them.
It's not a hobby, it's a chore.
Exactly. It's guilt-driven gardening. It's this little token of nature in a concrete world that's just slightly neglected.
Meanwhile, the house dweller, who clearly has a connection to nature, has many plants, including a big one in the corner. She embraces it because she has the space and, the mental quiet to actually take care of them.
Okay, so if the living room is for relaxing, the kitchen is where they fuel up. And the spatial differences here are huge. They basically dictate their entire mealtime rituals.
The apartment kitchen is small but modern. It's got the essentials: fridge, stove, oven.
But the key constraint is right there. No room for a table.
None. So meals have to be eaten in the living room. Your relaxation space has to pull double duty as your dining space.
And the house kitchen.
It is described as big. And the most important detail is the round table in the middle where they sit on chairs for breakfast and dinner. It's not just a place to eat, it's a dedicated communal zone, a ritual the apartment just can't support.
The source also gives us some interesting adjectives here. The house kitchen is usually tidy, but, and I like this detail, it becomes very messy after a big dinner.
Plates everywhere. It shows the reality of it, you know? Even an organized space can fall into chaos under pressure.
And this brings us back to that time burden we talked about, the great modern problem, the dishwashing dilemma.
Yes. The apartment dweller has no dishwasher. He washes everything by hand and notes that it takes a long time.
This is probably the strongest piece of real-life insight in the whole source. He has to wash by hand because the kitchen is too small for the machine. It's a constraint born purely from the architecture.
So what's his solution to the boredom?
He listens to podcasts while he's cleaning, and for you listening right now, this detail basically defines the apartment experience. It forces this kind of multitasking, turning a boring, long chore into a chance to learn something.
It's resourceful out of necessity. The house dweller, yeah, they might have to clean more rooms, but they are probably spared that daily time suck of manual dishwashing.
Which gives them time for what? The garden? Or reading in that armchair?
That's the trade-off right there. The urban life costs you time in the kitchen. The house life costs you effort in the garden. It's a fundamental choice in domestic labor.
That makes so much sense. Okay, let's shift to the most private spaces. This is where we see the difference between utility and luxury.
What's so fascinating here is the bathroom divide. It's a huge difference in the core amenities. The apartment only has a shower.
Described as quick and easy.
Exactly. It's a small room, clean, white tiles. It's all about efficiency, which comes from that lack of space. There is no bathtub.
Whereas the house has a bathtub, and it's explicitly called a luxury.
It's used for relaxing, for soaking in hot water after a long week. This isn't about getting clean, it's about quality of life. The bathtub is a symbol of having enough space and maybe enough time to actually use it.
But despite that huge difference, they share the basics. A mirror for brushing teeth, a sink for washing hands.
So the basic utility is met in both. But that higher level comfort, that indulgence, that's only possible in the house.
Now, when we move to the bedroom, things get interesting because we see a lot of overlap. It suggests that some needs are just universal, no matter where you live.
I agree. Both bedrooms are described as quiet. The walls in both are blue, which is noted as a relaxing color. Both have a double bed that's very soft, with 2 big pillows, all important for good sleep.
It tells you that no matter your address, sleep health is a top priority.
And then we get the universal reality check on storage.
Ah, yes, the closets.
Both of them admit their wardrobes are very full, and they both desperately need a bigger one.
So it turns out storage anxiety is universal. Doesn't matter if you're in a noisy apartment or a quiet house, nobody has enough space for their clothes.
We also get this really specific detail about flooring, which connects back to comfort and temperature. The house has wood floors.
Which can be cold.
Right. So to deal with that, they use a rug, a small carpet, to make it soft for your feet.
And the apartment. It has carpet already built into the bedroom, specifically because it's warm in the winter.
So one prioritizes built-in insulation, the apartment, while the house uses an accessory, the rug, to soften a material like wood that might look better but feel colder. Both are just practical solutions.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the biggest difference, the outdoor divide. This is where the physical space really shapes the psychological experience.
The apartment offers the balcony view.
A small balcony. It's a place to stand, drink your coffee, and look out at the city. You see the street, the people, other buildings. It's like you're watching the urban theater from your own private box.
Now compare that to the house. It offers the garden experience. You sit in a chair on the grass, surrounded by flowers and a small tree. It's described as very quiet.
So the synthesis is obvious. One is city gazing from above. The other is quiet immersion in nature at ground level.
It's grass versus a balcony.
It's the difference between being an observer of life and a participant in nature. The apartment offers the energy of the city. The house offers the stillness you need for reflection.
And yet, after all these huge differences, the sources land on this really lovely philosophical conclusion about what home actually is.
Right. It says it doesn't matter if it's big or small. Home is where you feel safe and happy.
And maybe most importantly, where you keep your coffee.
A truly universal truth. So what does this all mean? We've basically taken a vocabulary list
Yeah.
and built 2 entire lifestyle portraits from it. We've covered a ton of contrast, hopefully giving you a really clear way to remember these 2 different worlds.
And just to refresh those key ideas for you, the house gives you quiet, a garden, that big kitchen table, the luxury of a bathtub, and yeah, the work of cleaning more.
And the apartment gives you that central location, a small modern kitchen that forces meals into the living room, a shower only, the need to multitask your chores, and the constant hum of a noisy street.
And the key adjectives that brought it all to life were cozy, noisy, quiet, modern, and bright.
So the source material says home is about safety and happiness. We've talked about the quiet armchair, the luxury tub, listening to a podcast while doing dishes, all these real tangible things that lead to that feeling. So we want to leave you with one final thought as you go back to your own space. Given all these specific features we discussed, the noise, the quiet, the efficiency, the luxury, what specific item or feature in your home, something completely unique to you, is the one physical thing that truly enables that feeling of safety and happiness?
Is it the perfect blanket? Is the view from one particular window? What is the thing that really defines your sense of place?
It just shows that even the most basic conversations about our lives can reveal these profound differences in how we all live. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll see you on the next one.